the U.S. map. And as you can see too, right, coast to coast, we got you covered. We got a lot of people that are representing the commercial and public sector side, as well as the Canadian side that Francisco just shared. Over to the U.S. team on the AWS commercial. If anything stands out to you, we certainly have the bases covered, right? Plenty of support. On the top row, we have Kevin Kareth, our global AWS partnership lead, Marcine Borden, director of vendor management, along with Nick Below, global marketing manager. On the second row, we have Chris Savage, who manages our professional services team, led by Sergio, Ken, and John, who you'll hear from shortly. Who are on the bottom row there, along with Amina and Ken, who support all of IaaS administration. We have Trent, who's our business analyst and also someone we call our data scientist. And last but not least, Melissa and Yeshima, who's there with you guys, who are AWS marketing gurus. On the next slide here at the very top, we have Laurel, Holly, and Eric, who represent our sales managers and territory leads, covering the West, North, and South. We have Brandon, Brad, Rick, some of the best knowledgeable AWS sales recruiters, and a lot of our partners on the line may already have gotten a chance to get to know them, along with our professional, and I say that because they truly are, practice development team who do an amazing job with our growth and enablement, all dedicated to AWS and ready to assist you all. On the next slide, we have our public sector team, Jason Singer, public sector director, and Lisa Varela Schutz, our public sector sales manager and practice lead, Mike Clark, our healthcare go-to, along with Anastasia, Alex, and Heather, our AWS program managers, Carolyn, our grant writer, Jody Jepson, who is our AWS public sector marketing manager. Last but not least, we have Nathan, Frank, Aaron, Don, Sean, who are AWS development experts specializing in SLED, Fed, and soon to be justice and public safety. That was a mouthful, but we certainly have the team to support, and I'd be remiss if I didn't cover them all. But the important part, right? Like, why are we here? What do we do? Why are you leveraging Ingram Micro? Of course, that's for the training session, right? We take a lot of pride in our training and enablement that we can provide to our partner base. And what you'll find is we're going to lead you into our other enablement pillars. We provide a ton of support to our partners because that is who we are and what we need, right? It's cliche to say, but your success is ours. And as you grow, we grow. And we can also utilize our cloud expertise and experience that Ingram provides to help you with that journey. So I won't go through the pillars, and I know we're strapped for time. But before we dive into today's session, I want to pass it over to Ken, who's going to walk you through why we're here, right? Like, what is our 4-day boot camp going to cover, and what is this AWS Cloud Practitioner certification going to provide you and your team so that we can all grow together? Ken, with that said, I'll pass it over.
Good afternoon, folks. Thanks for being on the call today about the Practitioner Bootcamp. I'm really excited to be here today, and if there's no questions, I'm going to just jump right in. We're going to go a little deeper in what it all entails. So if there's no questions, I can move forward with the slide. This slide here shows a recent study that looks at the value of obtaining an AWS certification. And just take note, it also points out the value of employing AWS certified employees and put your organization in a better competitive position for future AWS opportunities. Just some of the points from left to right. I'm not leading the slide. I usually would have a little laser pointer, but from left to right, it talks a little bit about innovating, with some of the AWS services, the increased productivity, improved security, troubleshooting with less downtime, improved recruitment and retention on that, if you go back to that. Again, just right from the beginning, all in all, what the message here is, the more certs, it gives you that ability, it gives you the confidence to be able to, get in front of a customer, maybe not necessarily to dive deep, but to start that conversation within AWS, and having the competencies which this bootcamp covers, foundational, a lot of the, a diverse type of skill sets within AWS, this practitioner covers that. So it'll help you build that foundation. It'll help you build that confidence to move forward and talking to your customers. And, when it's time for us to dive in, when I say us, I'm talking about Ingram Micro, we can just help you, walk it along from your initial conversation down to a deeper conversation on what a customer's looking for. So that's kind of what this is. Getting that certification kind of leads, gives you that confidence to talk to customers. This slide here, pretty straightforward. You're going to hear a lot of mores in this one. So it's pretty straightforward. Just like I explained in the previous slide, the more certifications means more. I mean, what can I say? And I know for sure that the more certifications you earn, the more confidence your organization can deliver on AWS services. Next slide. So at the top of the slide, it talks about, why earn a cloud practitioner certification. Well, what I say is why not? Why not earn a certification? This certification, the credentials help organizations identify, it helps you develop talent with critical knowledge related to cloud initiatives. Earning the certification validates cloud fluency and foundational AWS knowledge. If you look right across the top there, the orange section, you can see how it covers the foundation. This is what we're focused on today. You can see all the boxes are checked, right, across the top of the diverse roles. Now, don't get me wrong, the other ones under skill sets under compute, storage, network, DB, sysops, things like that, as you advance, when you're really, really ready to dive deep with the customer, those certifications are definitely, necessary, to have. But right now, we're going to stay focused on the foundation to give you exactly what you need, all the tools that you need to actually talk to a customer. So you can see it covers all the bases across the board. And okay, yeah, this slide here talks about some of the certifications that you can get within AWS. Focus on that one on the top left, the cloud practitioner. This is that one that gives you all that fundamental training that you need that'll help you, speak to customers, where they are. And if you look right to the right, you can see the solutions architect and the DevOps engineer professional. You can also earn those shields. Nice, pretty shields, by the way. I got to upgrade mine and get a pretty colored shield like that, the professional shields. Then you can see the associate and the specialty. At one point in time, AWS wanted you to kind of go in order with foundational to associate to professional and then a specialty. But now as of 2018, you can jump in anywhere you need to jump in to earn any one of these certifications. Not easy to get. If they were, everybody'd have it. But very important to note that out of these, almost 12 badges, definitely something to look forward to. And I almost recommend start with the foundational, stay in it for about 6 months, and then maybe, jump to associate. And then when you're ready, get a professional or specialty cert. And there's a couple of links down the bottom that, provides a reference that we can, put in the chat for you to take a look at. So I think that was my last slide. I'm going to pass it over to my colleague, John, to kind of bring it home on the rest of the boot camp and what to expect. So appreciate your time today. If there's any questions, please throw them in the chat.
Thank you, Ken. That was awesome. Thank you. Welcome everyone to our Cloud Practitioner Bootcamp kickoff call. As Ken mentioned, I am a technical cloud consultant on the AWS team at Ingram Micro based in the United States. I support the Ingram Micro sales team in the Southeast region. So if you're based in the US, Southeast region, I'll be your technical point of contact. So feel free to reach out to me. I'll be happy to assist you with strategies on any opportunities that you have. So on this slide, we're going to talk about the AWS partner path. Before this was created, AWS had two paths. One was called the ISV, and the other one was called consulting services. So based on feedbacks they got from partners, so they decided to relaunch a new version, which is what you see on screen now. The goal was to provide a simplified experience that allows a partner to quickly navigate to a set of curated resources, programs, and benefits aligned to their business needs. Excuse me. As you can see, they have 5 paths. The first one is software path, which was renamed from ISV to software path. The second one is called hardware path, the services path, the training path, and then the distribution path where Ingram plays. But for the purpose of today's discussion, we want to focus more on the services path. As you progress through the APM journey, the goal is to move up the tiers, okay? Which is from the select tier, which I'll touch on the next slide, to advance and to the premier tier. No, go back to the old slide, sorry. I'm still talking about that, yeah. So for partners that provide consulting services, professional services, or managed IT services, we expect you to choose the services path. So if you select the services path, achieving the premier tier status is an essential milestone in your APM journey. There are benefits you will have access to when you move up the tiers, right? Like from the registered tier to the select, advanced, and to the premier tier, which is the ultimate tier you can achieve. You will have access to blueprints and a quick start to help you build out your solutions. So as you guys are growing at Ingram and with AWS, you deepen your understanding and knowledge of AWS. What is excellent about this partner path that AWS launched is not saying that you have to do one or the other. You can sign up for another path if you believe you can use it to bring value to your customer. So the goal is just finding the right one that you're good at, and then how we can help you guys accelerate your business with Ingram and AWS. So our job is to really help you figure it out. Next slide, please. So on this slide, we talk about how you get your APM program requirements for the services part. So the first thing you do when you register with AWS or Ingram, you start with a registered tier, and then the goal is to move to the next tier, which is the select. So for you to get to that part, you need 2 technical accreditation and then 2 business certificates, right? And it's more like having a 2, but the cloud practitioner helps you at least achieve one of those. So that's a good thing about having today's bootcamp for you. And then when you move to the advanced tier, you need 4 technical and 4 business accreditations, right? So you need a total of 8. And then there are annual launch opportunities where you have to maintain certain MRR, which is your monthly recurring revenue of above $10,000 US. And then that moves you up to the next tier, which is where you really want to be as you progress on the tier level. So you need 20, 10 technical, and then 10 business. And one of the key things you want to do here is once you get to the premier level, you will unlock a lot of opportunities. You know, you have access to development funds or marketing development funds from AWS, and then it kind of puts you on a level where you really have to excel in your business process with AWS. Next slide, please. So here we have some examples on things that will count towards your accreditation or towards your tier. So for example, we have this gentleman, which is on the top level, that has sales and business professional accreditation, and then also have the cloud practitioner foundational, which is what you guys are trying to achieve in this bootcamp. And that same individual have the solution architect associate. So in this case, 1 sales will count, and then the cloud practitioner will count, and then the solution architect will count towards the next tier they're willing to pursue. Then you have the lady in the middle. He has the solution architect associate certification, and she also has a solution architect professional certification. So in this case, only 1 will count because AWS will only accept 1 technical from 1 individual, right? So on the next individual, which is a male, he has a technical professional accreditation. He has a developer associate accreditation or certificate, so to speak, and an advanced networking specialty cert. Okay, so in this case, what will happen is the technical professional will count while they will take the advanced networking specialty cert, which is much more advanced. They will not want to take both the developer associate and the advanced networking specialty. Only one technical based on the model will count. Okay, so now takes us to the next example. So this lady right here has business professional accreditation and a technical professional accreditation, as well as a cloud practitioner. Also, that same person has a CSOP associate and a DevOps professional. So what will count in this case? The AWS will only take one accreditation, either the business or the technical. Of course, the cloud practitioner will count, and then the DevOps professional will count, since the DevOps professional is a much higher level of professional certification you can achieve within the technical space, okay? So, as you all know, there are some people who will probably claim they have multiple technical certifications, and they will ask why all my certifications are not counting. The idea really is to deepen your bench, okay? It's not, they're not encouraging you to be a one-man band, so they want you to deepen your bench, extend knowledge to other in your team, and to your overall core team that is dealing with these services, so that the benefit of getting everyone involved and getting everyone access to boot camps, immersion days, anything that will help them further their knowledge and AWS is what we're here to help you do. So hopefully this boot camp will give you that next level of comfort to deal with your customers. Thank you very much for attending today's boot camp.